Strong momentum on the street with the Nifty inching towards 24,200 mark and broader indices moving in tandem with a further cool-off in volatility index. All sectoral indices are in the positive territory with metals, real estate and tech stocks leading the gains.
IT stocks advanced after TCS delivered an inline Q1 and struck an optimistic tone on AI-led growth. Management highlighted a record AI revenue run rate of $2.6 billion, strong deal wins, and said AI pilots are increasingly moving into production.
And shares of Dixon cooled off after an initial rally following a regulatory approval for its joint venture with Vivo. The partnership is expected to strengthen Dixon's EMS leadership with potential to manufacture over 20 million smartphones annually and added nearly 30,000 crores in annual revenue at full scale.
Shares of Apollo Micro gained after announcing the acquisition of a 41% promoter stake in Premier Explosives for more than 1,500 crore. The deal strengthens Apollo's presence in defense, aerospace and energetic materials, while management expects the financial benefits to begin reflecting from FY28.
Shares of Dr. Reddy's extended losses after management said semaglutide supplies will remain disrupted until October. The company stressed there are no safety concerns or product recalls, but supply to partners will pause. Brokerages have cut earnings estimates and volume forecasts.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now. I'm with you, Kavita Thapliyal. With me is my colleague Ankita Saxena. And next webinar is all about your stock-specific question. That's right. This is the show where you can get connected live with us, talk to us and our experts, and ask all your stock-related questions. But how do you reach to us and send across your questions? There's a QR code that's flashing on the screen. All you have to do is just scan this QR code. You will be connected to a WhatsApp number, and there you can send your questions. Write down the name of the stock, the price at which you've bought it, and the timeline, whether it's a short-term or a long-term hold. And as per that, we'll be giving you a technical as well as fundamental take on your investment. And we'll be joined by our guests also in a bit. But before that, let's just look at the market. The market is witnessing broad-based buying. Most sectoral indices are trading higher. 24,202 is the level on the Nifty, almost 1% up. Metal and IT are definitely leading the gains in today's trade so far. Oil and gas, cement, banking, financial services are also contributing to this positive momentum. Defensive, pharma, healthcare, little underperforming though, which is also is like an indication of investor preference towards cyclical and growth-oriented segments is what we can see. But then what's buzzing? Let's also take a look at that. Kalyan Jewellers, we can see a jump of almost 9% earlier in the trade we saw. The MCAP has gone up. It's almost 6% now. 13,280 crores, that's the MCAP, and that has gone up. It's swollen to almost its level. Bajaj Consumers almost 0.5% up. Suven Life Sciences, Welspun Corp, Granules India almost up 1.5%. Suven Life Sciences we can see up more than 5% in today's trade so far. So that's a upbeat momentum out there. Bajaj Consumer almost 1.5% up. But then what's specific about the market today is we are looking at Apollo Microsystem also doing good in today's trade. Share was early in the trade up almost 5%. We are looking at the momentum still continuing. It's almost 3.5% now. There was a 1,550 crore deal to acquire 41% stake in Premier Explosive, and that's the impact on the stock as well. But then we'll be talking more about the equity markets. Let's just get an update on the FNO segment. We are joined by Sajit Mangal. Sajit, hi, good morning. And what's up in the FNO segment?
Thanks, Kavita, for that. The market is trying to hold on to the 24,200 levels, but it's still slipped slightly below that. We are seeing some open interest, unwinding happening in this point in time, and that's primarily because of some of the shorts that have got covered. But look at Nifty Bank. There we are seeing some long positions getting built up and some shorts getting covered as well. So open interest down in Nifty for by over 1%, and the Nifty Bank is up nearly 1.23% in today's trade. The banking back. Most of them are seeing a long build-up or a short covering happening with, Bank of India and Bandhan Bank seeing some shorts getting covered, but otherwise all other banking, whether private sector or public sector, is seeing a long build-up there. The call and put writing is getting interesting as we head towards the afternoon. We're seeing some fresh calls getting built at this point in time, but but from the morning you can see that the put writers have been active, especially in 24,100 and 24,200 levels. If you look at the distribution chart, you will see that there is some kind of pressure which is coming in from the call writers at 24,200 levels, where the call open interest is more than the put open interest at this point in time. 24,000 acts as a good support for now, but future gainers include Kalyan Jewelers, where the stock is up 6%. Bandhan is seeing 5% jump. CDSL is seeing a 5% jump there in gainers. In losers, you have Swiggy, which is down 2%. Kane Tech is seeing a long unwind and seeing down 2%, and Page Industries is seeing a short build up and down nearly 1.8%. Open interest gainers include CDSL. Dixon is seeing a short build up. Open interest up nearly 8%, 8.5%. Kalyan is seeing an open interest build up and long build up there. In the losers pack, Amber International is seeing a short covering. Ireda is seeing a short covering, and Geo Finance is seeing a short covering at this point. Most active stock options: TCS 2100 July call, 2065 is where the stock is currently. 10.7 lakh is the kind of addition contract addition to the open interest for TCS. And in the put side, you have Dixon 13,000 July put, where the open interest is up by nearly 15,000, premium of 8 rupees, but the stock hovering around 1340.61 levels at this point in time. So the market slightly cooling off from the top, currently at 24,185. Let's see whether it holds up 24,100 or it slips below that.
All right. Thank you, Sujit, for giving us the lowdown on the FNO universe. And with that, let's get going with the show and get our guests on board. G. Chokalingam, who's the founder and head of research at Economics Research, is joining us now on the fundamentals. And we'll be shortly joined by Kunal Bothra as well on the technicals. But let's get going and get the first question answered. This is coming on WhatsApp. Anant Nayak from Bangalore is writing in. He says he has Kin Metal India, the entry price is 2,965. Should he hold or sell, and can he wait for the next 1 to 2 years is the question.
All right, so that's the QR code that you can see on the screen, and all you have to do is just scan and get connected to us. I think our guests are also connected. Mr. Chokalingam, hi sir, good morning. Can you hear me? Hi, Chokalingam sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Hi. Okay, so we were talking about Anant Nayak's question. He's from Bangalore, and Kena Metal India is the stock. 2,965 is the entry price, and he can hold it for almost 1 to 2 years. But before you answer him, I would also like a short market take and maybe a weekly roundup of the market understanding from your lens, sir.
Yeah, certainly. I have extremely bullish view. I believe market will, particularly the Sensex and Nifty, will rise another 3 to 5% in 2 to 3 months. It is not unusual for Mr. Trump to, keep on changing his stand. I don't think the war is going to last for very long. Oil is still down 35% from post-war peak. And most importantly, on domestic front, the rainfall has improved a lot. Cumulative rainfall deficit, which was 41% at the end of June, has improved to just 14% rainfall deficit as I am speaking to you now. So I am extremely optimistic that the growth story remains intact, valuation remain attractive, and new retail investors are coming to the market at the rate of 6 to 8 lakh per week continuously. So all this would augur well for robust outlook of the market in the short term.
Okay, perfect. So that's a take on the market as well as the viewer's question. But let's slip into a short break. Post that we continue this Q&A session.
Welcome back. You're tuning in to Buy Now, Sell Now, and this is the show where we get all your stock-related questions answered. You can write into us. The number is flashing on top of your screens.
All right, let's take the other question, and this is a WhatsApp question coming in from Thomas Korean. He's from Ahmedabad, and he's bought almost 5,000 shares of Copran, and he wants to know whether he should be holding or selling this particular investment. Chokalingam sir, if you can hear me, do you have this stock in your coverage?
I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah, but
if you can just talk about the sector, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So stock is trading at 35 PE, so slightly stretched, but sector looks good now. The American business is improving in the pharmaceutical sector, margin also improving, and domestic front also the growth remained quite strong. So in the short term, one can continue to hold good quality pharmaceutical stocks.
All right, let's move on, and let's take Mr. Bhik Shamaya's question. He's from Hyderabad, and okay, very interesting question. He wants to buy ABB, Polycab, L&T at current prices, and he wants to hold it for long term. I mean, it's an investment perspective. Okay, so out of these three, first, which one would you buy? And if at all there has to be a buy initiated in all of these counters, what should be the buy price? If a narrow range, if you could just recommend.
Yeah, among these three, I am most bullish on L&T. We have recommended it also. The reason that the growth remains intact, the order book is very impressive, and a lot of diversification into data centers, semiconductors, realty. I mean, they're already there in reality. They're expanding in a big way, nuclear power, So then even EMS, electronic manufacturing. So L&T has already proven its capability in entering a business and setting up a size. So I'm quite confident that medium to long term, L&T will succeed in most of their new initiatives and build a big size. So this is the most high conviction stock for me among these three stocks.
First preference is L&T. Could you tell me he can buy at current prices? Would you recommend that?
It's a buy recommendation from us on L&T.
Okay. What about ABB and Polycab? What are the red flags for an investment perspective in these counters?
There is no red flag, but Polycab, I am not comfortable with the current valuation. Stock has already rallied. Yeah. ABB is, again, for medium to long term, ABB is a good stock to consider.
All right, so Mr. Bhik Shamya, L&T, out of all these three is recommended at the current prices. It's a long-term investment, so you can comfortably just buy and sit on it. Lakshmi from Mumbai, let's take her question. She has bought Reliance 1308. It's a buy price, and she wants to average at the current rate. Would you recommend an averaging strategy at this particular price?
Yes, we do have a buy recommendation on Reliance. Personally, I'm quite optimistic on Reliance for medium to long term. The FMCG business, the revenue scale-up is really very, very impressive. And geo listing also will reduce the debt at the consolidated level. And therefore, it can meet future capex also through fresh borrowing. And again, it is diversifying into many other new verticals like green energy, solar power. So I believe it's an excellent large cap stock for medium to long term.
A lot of investors who wants to accumulate large cap and blue chips often find the rate very uncomfortable. Do you recommend an SIP or buying in chunks?
Since I hold only research license, I can give only research view. That is a limitation I have.
No problem. Let's move on. Let's take Karishma's question. She's from Delhi, Bajaj Housing Finance, and the entry price is 104. She wants to know if she can average at the current price.
Bajaj Housing is, trading at nearly 3.5 times price to book value. It's a fairly priced. One can hold it. Even if there is a minor correction, one can buy. Despite the 3 times price to book value, I'm recommending for buy on decline because, the growth has been quite impressive in the last few years. So hold now, even if it declines 2-3%, one can consider buying it.
Okay, you are recommending an average at this rate because, it's gone down a lot from her buy price, and averaging now would make sense. And timeline for 12 months to hold?
Yeah, the minimum 12 months. 1, 2, 2, 3 years one can hold.
Okay.
All right, Let's move on to the next question that's coming in from Amitav Dev, who's writing in from Kolkata. He says that he has Kotak Bank. The quantity is 1,000 shares and the entry price is 398 rupees. Can he expect any recovery in the short term? For short-term recovery, Kunal, I'd like to come to you. He's bought it at a buying price of 398, Kotak Bank. In the short term, do you see this recovering? What should be the strategy?
See, I think so that the stock can, have a scope of recovery from the current levels, for Kotak Bank, because it's been beaten down significantly. The other point to look at is that the private sector banking names apparently are the ones which are starting to look very attractive. Kotak Bank has been one of the only few stocks in the large cap private sector banking names which has actually fallen by almost 10% in the last 2-3 weeks approximately. So I would sense that if the theme of the banking names continues to be into a zone of outperformance, it could just be a matter of time that Kotak Bank can come back to at least revisit the 400 levels. But then what I would also suggest is that whenever you get an exit on Kotak Bank, say closer to your cost price, I would suggest that you can consider other of the other private sector banking names. You might want to consider ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, or IndusInd Bank, and these three are now top candidates of gaining leadership from the private sector banking names, large cap stocks.
Okay, perfect. Let's move on. Another question is coming in from Mr. Rao. Siemens and entry prices 3820. Should I add more for long term or maybe purchase Siemens Energy? Interesting question. Let's take a fundamental as well as a technical take on both of these counters. Chokulingam sir, first let's go with you. For long term, how is the buy price and what would you recommend?
Long term good, but upside even for next 1-2 years is limited because stock has already rallied from the bottom. So I would give just a whole recommendation on Siemens Energy.
Kunal, what would you recommend? Averaging in Siemens and then later on buying more in Siemens Energy? What's going to be your outlook?
See, Siemens Energy is a very limited chart, so I won't be able to comment on it. But Siemens, I strongly believe that I think it's a good zone where you can look to average. Now, what's happened is for the past 7-8 weeks, the stock has been going through a patch of correction. But then, when you look at this in the context of what happened from the March lows, the stock bottomed out at sub 3,000 levels, moved up to almost 3,900, 4,000 mark, and then from there went through a correction. So a rally, a retracement, or a price correction, and now this sets up the stock back again for maybe another few weeks of a multi-week upside. So I think if your time frame is for say at least another 8 to 10 weeks, then I think it's a very good zone where you can look to average Siemens for, even if it's a near-term position, which I'm assuming, I would probably suggest a target of 4,000, 4,200 on the stock.
So that's the view on Siemens and Siemens Energy. But let's move on to the next question that's coming in from Suresh. He's writing in from Pune. He says he's bought Cohance Life at 550 rupees. He wants to know if he should hold or average in for the long term. Mr. Chokalingam, let me come to you. Cohance Life Sciences, what would be your view? He wants to hold it for a longer period of time, but this one's corrected quite a bit. In the last 1 year, it's seen a drawdown of almost more than 50% drawdown. Do you see any reversal coming in this counter? What is your take on this?
I'm sorry, I have not studied this stock recently, so I'm not able to give you.
All right, Kunal, I'll come to you for this. Cohance Life Sciences, on the charts, what would be your view?
See, I think it's a very volatile chart. I would not suggest, specific from a longer term perspective, such kind of volatile names, because historically, we've seen that when stocks correct by such kind of magnitude of 80%, 90% in a span of just 1.5 odd year, those stocks, they take a lot of time to go into a time-wise consolidation. So the only concern over here is the time-wise consolidation. If the stock just stagnates for another 2-3 years at the current juncture, say at 450 levels plus minus 10-15%, then you would miss out on better opportunities in the other in the same space in other stocks. So that's the only concern for a stock like Cohance, and that's why I would suggest to avoid.
To avoid, but with that, it's time to move on. And up next, an exclusive roundup of the week's key developments from Maharashtra in our Maharashtra 360.
From transformative reforms in agriculture and farmer welfare to sustainable rural development, economic growth and infrastructure planning. From strengthening industry partnership and pilgrimage destinations to landmark initiatives on inclusive governance and social empowerment. Here's a look at the key decisions and developments shaping Maharashtra's growth story. This is Maharashtra 360. With the rollout of Maharashtra's historic Punya Shlok Ahilya Devi Holkar Farm Loan Waiver Scheme, the state government has now clarified the eligibility norms, benefits implementation process for farmers. Now, CM Fadnavis, along with Deputy CM Sunetra Pawar and other officials, have released an information booklet in this regard. Crop loans of up to 2 lakh rupees outstanding under the notified period will be waived, while farmers with larger dues can avail a one-time settlement by first clearing the amount above the 2 lakh limit.
जे शेतकरी कर्ज मिळण्याकरता अपात्र झालेले आहेत ते पुन्हा कर्ज घेण्याच्या परिस्थितीत आले पाहिजेत, एलिजिबल झाले पाहिजेत, याकरता कर्जमाफी करायची असते. दुसरं, आपण कर्जमाफी ज्यावेळेस करतो त्यावेळी जो नियमित कर्ज भरणारा शेतकरी आहे त्याला हे वाटू नये की मी कर्ज थकवलं असतं तर फायदा झाला असता, मी कर्ज भरलंही चूक झाली, म्हणून त्यालाही आपण मदत करतो. त्यामुळे मी पुन्हा एकदा सांगतो, अटी आणि शर्ती काहीच नाहीत.
The Maharashtra government says that the detailed framework is aimed at ensuring transparent, time-bound and technology-driven implementation of the state's largest ever farm loan waiver program, enabling eligible farmers to receive benefits and also, at the same time, secure fresh institutional credit for the upcoming cropping season. Maharashtra's long-term vision for a climate-resilient and technology-driven agriculture sector was in focus as Chief Minister Fadnavis addressed the state-level Krishi Sanman and Awards Distribution Ceremony 2026. Congratulating award-winning farmers and agricultural officers, the Chief Minister said that innovation, scientific farming and knowledge sharing would be key to strengthening the state's rural economy. He also highlighted that the success of Jal Yukt Shivar Abhiyan, saying that more than 22,000 villages have witnessed improved water conservation and groundwater recharge, while outlining the government's next phase reforms through river linking projects, AI-powered agricultural advisory services and also zero-cost solar power for farmers. The Chief Minister added that the next phase of Maharashtra's agricultural roadmap will focus on expanding water security through river interlinking, while also leveraging artificial intelligence to deliver timely crop advisories and extension services to farmers. He also highlighted the government's push towards zero-cost solar agricultural power alongside continued investment in irrigation, mechanization, quality seeds and sustainable farming practices. Calling the award winners ambassadors of agricultural innovation, Fadnavis also urged them to help spread modern farming techniques and best practices across Maharashtra's farming communities. And Maharashtra's investment momentum received another boost as Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages proposed an investment of nearly 1,200 crore rupees in the state, including a new greenfield manufacturing facility at Jamner in Jalgaon district. Reviewing the proposal, Chief Minister Fadnavis said that the project is expected to generate significant employment opportunities, strengthen local industries and accelerate economic development in the region. Reiterating the state's industry-friendly approach, the CM said that Maharashtra remains committed to supporting investments that promote sustainable growth, responsible industrialization and strong local economies. The Maharashtra government also unveiled a 3,993.90 crore rupees master plan to transform Pandharpur into a world-class pilgrimage destination. Reviewing the comprehensive development plan, Chief Minister Fadnavis said that the project aims to preserve the spiritual heritage of the holy town while also creating modern, sustainable infrastructure for millions of devotees who visit every single year. Deputy CMs Eknath Shinde and Sunetra Pawar also joined the government's broader commitment to strengthening religious tourism with a focus on improving pilgrim amenities, mobility, civic infrastructure and the overall experience. Now, the Urban Development Department will implement the master plan in coordination with various government agencies to ensure integrated development of the pilgrimage town. And in a landmark step towards strengthening women's role in agriculture, the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly unanimously passed the Maharashtra Women Farmers Empowerment Bill 2026. Speaking during the debate, Deputy CM Sunetra Pawar described the legislation as a historic milestone that formally recognizes the contribution, dignity and rights of women farmers while making Maharashtra the first state in the country to enact such a law. And those were all the updates we could pack for you in this edition of Maharashtra 360. Until next week, take care.
Welcome back. You tune in to Buy and Sell Now show where we get all your stock-specific questions answered. The number is flashing on top of your screen, so keep writing into us and we'll get them answered by our experts. So let's resume with all the questions that you have been writing to us with. Srinivas is writing in from Hyderabad. He says he has two stocks. First is Piramal Finance. The entry price is 1,200 rupees, and the second one is Pesalo Digital. The entry price is 56 rupees. He wants to know, should he hold on to these or exit and invest elsewhere? Please suggest alternative stocks if yes. Okay, Piramal Finance is the first one. He's not given the time horizon though. Mr. Chokalingam, I'll come to you. He's sitting at a profit here. Piramal Finance, should he hold on to it? More upside there? What should he do? And then we'll come to the next counter as well.
Yeah, it's trading close to 2 times price to book value. I think it's a good to book profit because not only the relative valuation and even the competition in the NBFC field is getting intensified. Different layers of competition is emerging in the form of small finance, then big finance companies getting listed and becoming aggressive. So I would suggest sell on rise.
Sell on rise. Okay, Mr. Chokalingam. And also, what would be your view on Pesalo Digital? Because even that has run up quite a bit. It's given a 100% return in the last 6 months. What would be your strategy on Pesalo?
Sorry, I have not tracked it.
Kunal, would you like to take that?
Yeah, I think for both the stocks, my opinion would be to hold on to both of these names. I think Piramal, for example, has given a very steady uptrend after that change of script code, at least on the NSE. We've seen the stock evolving into a much more better price trend than the earlier version, where the stock was. So I think at the current levels of 2000 plus, Piramal Finance is something which looks quite steady on the long-term charts. And my assumption is that the viewer could be a long-term investor in that sense. And same is the case with Pesalo. The stock in the last 4 months has seen a consecutive price uptrend, even if it meets with, say, a few months of consolidation or a mild profit booking for the stock price. But such kind of moves generally revamp the long-term charts for many of these names. So I would suggest to hold on to both of these names, specifically if the viewer is long-term.
Right. We also have a viewer connecting on the phone line, Mr. Subrata Mukherjee. Hi, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. May I ask to Mr. Kunal Gupta, please? I want to buy BEL.
Okay.
At this price or any other defense share like Bharat Dynamics.
Sure.
For medium
And
term.
For long term.
For medium term.
Medium term. All right. Kunal?
See, I would suggest that I think many of these defense stocks are available at a very good price point. Now, the only concern which I have with BEL is that the current price is very, very close towards a major support on the the stock on the medium-term charts. So, for example, this level of 400, 390 approximately is a huge support for the stock on the medium-term basis. The only concern is that what's happened on the weekly charts is many of the indicators have entered into a slight negative territory. So, if in case you are looking to buy BEL, you can consider that. But I would suggest to keep a tight stop loss at, say, closer to 385, 390 levels for BEL, because in case if the stock breaks below this level, there could be a higher chance that you might see the stock going into a corrective wave for multi-week basis. And since your time frame is medium term, that would probably impact the stock price trend over the next 3 to 6 months. So BEL is something which I would recommend, but keep a tight stop loss as I just mentioned.
All right, so that's the view on BEL. Let's move on to the next question coming on WhatsApp. This is Monu Malviya who's writing in from Bhopal. He says, he has Sky Gold and Diamond and the entry price is 357. Should he hold it or sell it? Kunal, coming to you, what should be the view?
I don't track the stocks, so I'll skip it.
All right, we'll move on to the next question. Then Ramya is writing in from Bengaluru. Eternal is what she's holding on to. The entry price is 239. Should I hold or sell? She has the share since the last 1 year. Please suggest. Okay, coming to you, Kunal. Eternal, what would be your view? She has bought it at an entry price of 239 is the entry price. What are the levels that you're tracking? We have recently seen the stock give some good returns. And of course, there is this note by Motilal Oswal also that said that set a target price quite high at around 380 or so. But what is the target that you are looking at for Eternal?
So I think, we were bullish on the stock over the last, 2 to 3 months. We flagged off a buy around 220 odd levels for the stock price with a potential target around 275 to 295 range for the stock. It's apparently hit those ranges in a very short period of time, just a matter of, I think, 3 months or so for the stock. So it's done phenomenally well in the last 3 odd months. I would still believe that at current levels, what you can do is, since you purchased at 239 approximately, you can keep maybe a trailing stop loss of 275, hold on to the stock, because on the upside, if the stock confirms a breakout above 300 levels, we could be looking at a potential target of 330 to even 350 for the stock.
Okay, let's move on. And this question is coming in from T. Ganeshan from Chennai and wants to know if he can enter RR Kabel at current market price and he wants to hold it for 6 to 18 months. Kunal, would you recommend a buying price at this level?
So you can start to nibble at current levels. The only concern is that the stock price has run up quite much in the last 3-4 months, from 1500 levels to 2700, which was the 2500, which was a recent high for RR Kabel. That stock has run up almost like 800 to 1000 points in a matter of the last 3-6 months. So it looks attractive, but it's just that I would suggest to just wait for some bit of more dips so that you can keep on averaging out on the downside for the stock. You can start at current levels, maybe with a smaller bit of quantity, but then on dips, say closer to 2000 levels or slightly below those points, could be better price points to buy or enter RR Kabel.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Sunil Kumar writing in from Bengaluru. He says he has AB Capital. The entry price is 347. He wants to know if he can add more at current levels. Kunal, coming to you, AB Capital, is this the right time to enter or what are the levels to watch out for?
It's a good stock to look at on the long-term basis. I think the entire sector has been looking quite sturdy. Within that, AB Capital has been a phenomenal mover over the last 2 years. Remember tracking the stock from 160 levels to now 400 plus where the stock is trading. I would suggest to just wait for maybe minor bit of corrections. The stock has a tendency of coming closer to 380, 390 zone before it goes into a mean reversion completion and then a rally. I would suggest that just wait for minor dips. Somewhere below 390 is where you can look to start entering into the stock price, assuming if you want to hold on to it from a long-term perspective.
All right. You can start accumulating about 390 in Aditya Birla Capital. Next question is coming in again on WhatsApp. This is Rakesh Gupta from Delhi. Wants to invest in NBFC stocks. And, well, I'm not sure about the time horizon, but let's take a technical as well as fundamental take. What should be the strategies as far as NBFCs are concerned? Jyotirlingam sir?
They have rallied a lot, so one should go by the price to book value. Any large cap NBFC is available around 3 times price to book. It's decent to buy. So I would suggest stocks like Sriram Finance or Sundaram Finance. Sundaram Finance standalone book price to book value is higher, but it has got several subsidiaries. So on consolidated basis, Sundaram Finance looks good, and that has not rallied also much. So among all NBFCs, first choice is Sundaram Finance.
Sundaram Finance again, but then any buy price or any other recommendation technically, Kunal?
Yeah, I think Sriram Finance is something which you can consider, but I would suggest on slight dips. I think the stock seems to be now coming back into a very high volatile zone, and because of that extra bit of added volatility, you might probably expect the stock to correct another 40-50 points on Sriram Finance. So I would suggest say closer to 960,000 range could be a much better range if you're looking to buy the stock on a long-term basis.
All right, let's move on then to the next one. Shrikant is writing in from Hyderabad. He says he has Niva Bupa and the entry price is 74 rupees. He's been holding it since the IPO. Is it worth holding or shifting to any other company? Please advise. He's not given the holding period. How long can he hold it? But Mr. Jyotirlingam, coming to you. Niva Bupa is the counter that he has. He's been holding it since the IPO. Is it worth holding on to, or do you recommend any other counter in the same space?
Oh, it's a great company, but it's struggling to maintain the consistency in profits. So in this similar business, I would prefer HDFC Life in insurance business to Niva Bupa. Okay.
Let's move on, and this is the question from Anil Kumar, Rajasthan, and he wants to know on Trent buy price is 3350. And now he's wondering what should be the strategy going ahead. Kunal, he's in losses. The buy price is really high. 6 months outlook, maybe, if you might want to recommend.
So I would not recommend an averaging as of now because after this 10% plus correction for Trent in the last 3-4 days back, I would sense that there could be a little bit more correction which could be due for the stock in the near term. Ideally, such kind of stocks, such kind of corrections in stocks generally happen when there is a time and a price-wise correction both which shapes up. So potentially over the next 2-3 weeks, I would sense say closer to 2,650, 800 as a range which the stock should settle into. So within this band or a range is where I would suggest to average out if possible. If not, I think the stock is a top quality name. Yes, the current news flow has been negative for the stock price, but then I would suggest that maybe over the next few months, the stock would probably exhibit the potential tendency of trying to cover up the losses on the medium-term basis. So hold on to it from a long-term perspective if you're not looking to average, but if you're looking to average, 2650, 2800 range could be a better range to average out.
All right, let's move on then to the next question on WhatsApp. This is Hector writing in from Kolkata. He says he has Lemon Tree. The entry price is 120 rupees. He's willing to hold it for the next 2 years. Should he buy more? If yes, then at what levels? Kunal, Lemon Tree, would you recommend for the next 2 years? And if yes, then what are the levels that he can probably add more?
I would suggest to average out or add more above 130 levels for Lemon Tree. So I think what's happened is many of the hotel stocks are starting to look attractive. Indian Hotels has given a breakout above 730 mark. You've seen ITC Hotels also trying to come back into a breakout move. But on the other hand, names like Lemon Tree, etc., they're still struggling to break past about their immediate resistances. So it's always better to try and wait for a breakout to happen and then buy the stocks, because otherwise the gestation period or the time taken for the stock to complete this consolidation could be a little bit more on the prolonged side. So would suggest an averaging out above 130 plus levels.
All right, average out above 130 plus levels, Lemon Tree Hotels. Lakshmi Srinivasan from Mumbai is asking on Excite Industries. Entry price is 394 and she wants to buy more and hold it. And for how long is the question? Okay, 394 and she's in profits. Chokalingam sir, what's going to be a longer time horizon on this?
Good. The diversification into new energy and all is positive, but P is already around 43 on a trailing basis, and stock also rallied a lot. So at best, one can hold it for time being. In case post June results, stock shows any tendency to correct, that can be used to consider buying the stock.
All right, so it's a hold for now, and yes, look at the Q1 results. Kunal, what would you recommend?
See, I'll suggest to book profits around this 430 mark for 430, 440 range for Excite. But then I think if it falls back from those 430 levels back towards your initial cost price of 390 approximately, then it's a good zone where you can look to consider buying. So I would sense that the stock would try and remain into a trading range over here. And in that sense, I think you should try and take advantage of that trading range, book profits on the higher side of this range, and then buy back the stock closer to the lower end of the trading range, which is around 390 mark.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This is coming from Mr. Kumar from Bengaluru. He says he has IDBI. The entry price is 88 rupees. Should he hold or sell? Kunal, coming to you, IDBI Bank, what are the levels to watch out for? His entry price is 88 rupees. What should be his strategy?
I would suggest a hold on IDBI. The stock in the last, I think, 5-7 days or 10 odd days has gone through a mild correction from 92 levels towards 82, 83 where it's trading right now. But I would sense that whenever the PSU banking names could make a comeback, I think IDBI Bank could be amongst the prominent names which can come back to at least your cost price, if not more. The only concern over here is that maybe the stock and the entire sector would take at least another few weeks to try and show that tendency of any kind of a major recovery. So you'll have to be a little bit more patient over here, but I would suggest a hold as of now.
All right, it's a hold as of now in IDBI Bank. The next question is again from WhatsApp. Mohit from Ludhiana. Stock is Paytm. Entry price is 1165. Time horizon is 2 years. Chokalingam sir.
I am not comfortable in giving V1 Paytm. I feel it's fairly stretched in valuation.
All right, Kunal.
See, I think it's a good zone. I would suggest to book profits over here for Paytm at 1320, 1340 levels, where it made a high today, for example. I think it's a good zone where you can consider booking profits and then look to rebuy once the stock goes into a mild bit of a correction, because it looks like the stock has come back towards a major resistance on the monthly charts. 2025, the stock made a high of 1340, 1380 approximately, and from there it turned back again into a sharp corrective wave. My only concern is that if the stock is unable to surpass this resistance, you might probably expect the stock to go into a slight bit of a correction further. So it's a good zone where you may consider booking out partial profits since you purchased at far lower levels.
All right, let's move on from Paytm to Sandeep Anand's question on PNC Infra, where the entry price is 300 rupees. He's not given a holding period, but he wants to know the view. Coming to you, Mr. Chokalingam, what is your view on PNC Infra, say, for the next 1 year? Would you recommend a hold?
One can hold. Valuations are very attractive, but I don't know why, despite good performance, valuation multiple has contracted. One can hold it.
All right, let's move on. The other question is from Saurabh Tandon, Kanpur, and Tata Investment. Entry price is 895. Should I exit or accumulate on dips, or if it's a hold recommendation, then how much would be the rise? 894. He's in losses. Chokalingam sir, any long-term view on this?
Long-term view is good. Price also corrected, but short-term, medium-term difficult because one has to do SOT of value of the investment they hold, which I have not done, to be fair. So I can't give a short to medium-term view, but definitely in the long term it is good.
All right, with that, it's time for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll come back and get your questions answered on the other side. So stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now. We are answering your stock-specific question, and we have Mr. Madhav on the phone line from Madhya Pradesh. Madhav, hi, good morning. How are you?
I want to know about Union Bank. I bought
Sure.
it around 170 rupees, 172 rupees.
172 is your
around-
entry price?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That is around 2000 shares. And Gujarat Gas also, I bought it around 450, 15.
Okay. Okay. And both of these...
Around 100 stocks.
Got it. So both of these stocks you want to hold for how long?
I am expecting around 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months. Okay. Kunal, your take first on Union Bank?
See, for the next 2-3 months, I don't see any major revival coming into both of these names. For example, Gujarat Gas just recently corrected from 850 levels to 740. Union Bank, on the other hand, I think corrected from 175-80 levels to sub 160 mark. The correction has been a little bit sudden for these stocks. That's why I would believe that the revival would take some time over here, at least for these names. So I'm not sure whether for the next 2 months or so the stocks could see any kind of a major revival. However, from a 6-month perspective, 6 months to say 9-month perspective, there is a very strong scope that these stocks can come back into a decent recovery phase. So the only suggestion which I would suggest, give to the viewer is that to extend the time horizon from 2 months to at least 6 to 9 months.
All right, let's move on from Union Bank to the next question. That is the next question that is coming in on Gujarat Gas. And let's talk about that. This is by Sevish Jita, who's writing in from Secunderabad. She says she has, her question is on IRB Infra. She says the entry price is 27 rupees. What is the target for the next 1 year? And is it a good future investment? Coming to you, Mr. Chokalingam, IRB Infra for the next 1 year, would you recommend a hold?
It's a very difficult to understand for me personally because of, a lot of these liabilities and assets related to infra projects. So I would skip this stock.
Okay, let's move on. Let's take this question. This is from Delhi, Mr. Manoj Kumar, and Cochin Shipyard is the stock. Entry price is 2600. And what should I do? He wants a strategy. I think let's take a technical as well as fundamental take. Kunal, would you like to go first? 2600.
See, I'll suggest a hold on Cochin Shipyard. There's no point, in fact, even adding to the stock at the current levels because of the steep price correction the stock has gone through. The concern for Cochin Shipyard is with respect to the other stocks in a similar space is that the stock is going through a corrective phase which is a little bit more extended for the stock. And I think possibly the stock can be at the similar levels in the near to medium term. So I would sense that the stock at the current juncture looks to be more like an average or a moderate stock in terms of indicators. I'll just suggest to hold on, not to average.
All right, Chokalingam sir, same suggestion? Chokalingam sir, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. One can hold it at best because even after a severe correction, still trading at a P of over 50 times, which I feel is stretched. So one can continue to hold for medium to long term.
All right, let's move on then. Madhu's writing in from Bangalore. She says she has Wellspun Living. The entry price is 163. Please guide for the next 3 to 6 months. Kunal, 3 to 6 months on the charts. How does Wellspun Living look like to you? She's sitting at a loss. What should be the strategy?
See, I think from a price point of 163, the stock is currently just minorly, above your cost price. But then there are some strong resistances around 173 mark for Wellspun Living. I think the last 2-3 weeks, the stock is trying to test a breakout above those levels. But there's some supply which is coming back into the stock at higher levels. So I would suggest maybe at 170 plus levels to try and book out profits on Wellspun Living, since your time frame is restricted towards short term. And then in case if the stock drifts down to say 150, 155 kind of a mark, that could be a good price point where you may consider to re-enter.
Abhilasha from Bangalore. She's asking on HCL Tech, entry price is 1198. And for how long can she hold, or would it be better to sell it right now? Okay, let's take a short-term strategy, Kunal.
I'll suggest a hold on HCL Tech. I would believe that, I think IT stocks could be at a cusp of a decent turn over here. And I think 1190 approximately is not, far off from your cost price. I will suggest a hold on HCL Tech.
All right, let's move on to the next question. This is Srinivas Murthy writing in from Bangalore. He says he has Genesis Power. The entry price is 330. Please advise for the long term. Coming to Mr. Chokkalingam, what is your view on Genesis Power? He's sitting at a loss, but he wants to know for the long term, say a period of 1 year, would you recommend a hold?
It's a very good stock, trading at 16 PE. Though Singapore government has sold its stake, I believe a lot of strategic investors have entered. I believe it's quite attractive stock for medium to long term.
Next question is from Anil, Bangalore. Ether Energy, entry price is 921, holding these shares from almost 6 months now. He's in profits, but he also wants to add more and hold it for 2 to 3 years. All right, can he buy more, Kunal, at this rate?
Not at this rate. I think the stock is already at a multi-month, multi-year high at the current levels. Wait for some correction.
Okay. Chokkalingam sir, what would you recommend? 2 to 3 years horizon, and he's in profits also right now.
Yeah, similar view. I think it would be a good to book profit on any further rise.
All right, that was the last question for the day. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Chokkalingam and Kunal, for joining us and answering all the stock-related questions. We'll let you go on that note, and let's talk about Apollo Micro that is all set to acquire 41.3% promoter stake in Premier Explosives. The acquisition is worth 1,500 crores, and the transaction is going to be an all-cash transaction. And earlier today, ET Now spoke to TV Chaudhary, who's the executive director at the Premier Explosives. Let's go across and see what he had to say about this deal.
We are expecting a good consolidation of our both the strengths of Premier Explosives and Apollo Microsystems, where they are strong in electronics and defense electronics and aerospace. Future is going to be electronics and explosives rather than one item. So that was the idea, that we'll be able to achieve better things. So I think I don't see any integration hurdles, because the facilities are separate, and then the expertise is separate. They have the expertise of electronics, and we have the high energy materials and all this. We have to inform them the change. If they have any issue, they may come back to us. But in certain cases, like the board members and all those, if the new numbers are there, we have to take the consent of approval, rather, not consent, approval of MOD and then DIPT. I think the difference will come in the next financial year. Current financial year is already drawn, what we are doing and what is going and all those.
All right, and with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now also. But then for our viewers, a short break, and post that we'll get you markets at noon. Stay tuned. Goodbye.